Welcome to the NWR Aussie Resources Conference. My name is Kerry Stevenson. Next up, we have Luke Reinehr. He is the Chairman and CEO of Kalamazoo Resources, ASX code, right there in front of you, KZR. Got some fabulous projects, both in Victoria and Western Australia. Luke, over to you to tell the story of Victoria, Pilbara Gold and the lithium projects.
Fantastic. Thanks, Kerry. And yeah, look, thanks for the invite, and also to NWR, sorry, for putting on this conference today. So perhaps I'll just get into it if I can straight away, Kerry. I guess, you and I have been having discussions over the last couple of years, but I think it's probably a few months since we spoke last. So let me provide you a bit more detail of where we are today, and then I'll jump into some more detail going forward. So, Kerry, there are three aspects of our business that I'd like to talk about today, if I can. They're the 1.65 million ounce Ashburton gold project up in the Pilbara, of our growing Victorian gold projects, and our lithium exploration. And just to recap, as you mentioned, these major assets are all located in either Victoria or the Pilbara. Over in the west, we've just completed extensive drill programs at our Ashburton gold project over the last 12 months or so. As well, we've just finished an IP survey to help with our planning for our next drill program as we look to increase this resource past 2 million ounces. But most importantly, Kerry, we've recently received some great results on some met work on our major Mount Olympus deposit at the Ashburton. And this is feeding in very nicely as we progress our development plans for the project. So we're doing a new resource model and scoping study. The second aspect of our business is our Victorian gold exploration, which we're continuing to expand with a recent acquisition of what we call the Mount Piper Gold Project. And these projects are all in close location to the incredibly rich Fosterville gold mine. And finally, our lithium operations are growing rapidly, Kerry, and we've just completed our first 2 drill programs in JV with the major Chilean lithium producer, SQM. I guess, Kerry, though, the thing operating in both the Pilbara and in Victoria is that the project areas we're operating in are very important and sensitive areas. And so, as a company, we take our ESG obligations, very seriously. That's why we've signed up recently as the first gold and lithium explorer operating in Australia that's accredited as carbon neutral under the federal Climate Active program. Yeah, it's taken us a bit of a while to get there, Kerry, but we think it's very important. So we are now carbon neutral, and what that means is that we calculate what our carbon profile is, and we try and reduce those emissions, and then we offset any that we can't reduce. So, and how we've done that is we've got a forestry operation in southern WA, which helps offset our carbon footprint.
Oh, that's clever.
Yeah, so we think it's really important going forward. And look, with the change of government as well, Kerry, here in Australia, it's just becoming more and more, important. So first of all, let me, if I can, just talk about the Pilbara a little bit. I'll jump right into it. The Ashburton Gold Project itself, we've made excellent progress over there in the last couple of years with the Mount Ashburton Gold Project itself, which is about 1.65 million ounces. And it's located about 300 kilometres south of Port Hedland. As we all know, Kerry, the Pilbara is subject to very major gold activity at the moment. De Grey announced its pre-feasibility study just last week for its 9 million ounce Mallina gold project. And that's been very well received, and De Grey has seen a substantial re-rate by the market just in the last couple of days. Capricorn also is travelling very well with its 100,000 operation, and it's got a market cap today of about $1.3 billion. And Calidus, of course, is also now in production with similar ounces. And so the work we've been completing in recent times at the Ashburton has been very positive, and this is giving us confidence that we'll soon join these companies on a development pathway, particularly as we look at options in regards to our very large sulphide resource. Importantly, Kerry, we consider that the Ashburton project compares very well with these other projects I've just mentioned, especially in regard to grade, where the Ashburton's 1.65 million ounces is at a healthy 2.5 grams a tonne, which is almost double what these other projects' grade is. As an overview, the Ashburton project itself, it's got excellent infrastructure. It's got an airstrip and a camp, a core farm. Covers about 220 square kilometres with 7 mining and exploration leases, as you can see from this diagram down the bottom. But what we really like about the Ashburton project itself is its near mine and regional exploration potential. Our drill campaigns in particular are giving us confidence that we can increase the resource past 2 million ounces over the next couple of years. And in particular, we're seeing really encouraging results from medium to high grade mineralisation. As I mentioned at the start, our metallurgical test work has shown some excellent recoveries on the sulfide mineralisation. And this is now a major focus for us, as we believe there's considerable sulfide resources still to be discovered there, which could significantly increase the scale of our project. And these results have opened up the potential for maybe a two-stage oxide or sulfide plant to be constructed on site. And another option we're looking at, Kerry, is the construction of a simple crush and float circuit, producing what they call a high-grade gold concentrate. And this concentrate could then be sold overseas or maybe to other gold plants in the Pilbara that might treat similar sulfide ore. But what we've done in recent months, and we announced this to the market recently, is that we appointed CSA Global to do an independent review for us of the original resource model, which was completed by Northern Star in 2013. And whereby they calculated the 1.65 million ounces at 2.5 grams a tonne. And the results from this review, it's giving us excellent confidence in the resource model. But also what it's helping us do is identify opportunities to increase the large 1.1 million ounce Mount Olympus resource, which is the major resource within this project. And this is done by more sophisticated modelling or identifying where additional drilling could add even more ounces to Mount Olympus. But we're also having CSA look at mining and processing costs, and with other consultants reviewing environmental and other aspects. And if this all comes out positive in a project scoping study over the next few months, which we believe it will, then it's hoped that a clear development pathway for us will emerge. And the logical next step would then be to kick off a preliminary feasibility study. Kerry, with our directors, we went to Diggers and Dealers recently, but then we went up to the Ashburton Gold Project. It's been a while, obviously, since we've all been there. And here's an image of the project. And as you can see from it, this is the Mount Olympus deposit. And from this video, you can see that the project itself has already produced about 350,000 ounces, which was mined from this pit in the period 1998 to 2004. But there's still more than 1 million ounces of gold contained on the sides and underneath of this pit. And that's what we consider to have potential to be significantly larger. And you can see this is from inside Mount Olympus pit itself. But importantly for us, when this recent trip, we identified some of the wide mineralization you can see at the bottom of this pit. And this is obviously going to be the work we're going to look to advance in coming time. The other project in the Pilbara we have, gold project, is what we call the Mallina West Gold Project. This project itself is about 45 kilometres to the southwest of De Grey's Hemi discovery, which we talked about earlier on, and which has now grown to more than 9 million ounces. As you can see from this map, our project is actually situated on the same Willier shear zone as Hemi. And what's very positive for us is that our project has never been drilled for gold until now.
Wow.
We've now developed 5 initial drill targets based on some very extensive soil and soil sampling pre-drill work. And we've just completed recently, in the last couple of months, the first of our drill campaigns at Mallina West, which is a 2,500 metre RC drill program. Like everyone else, Kerry, we're now waiting on assays. And that'll assist us in our planning for the next campaign at this very prospective project.
Luke, how far away is Mallina West from Ashburton, and why did you pick up this particular project as part of the portfolio?
Yeah, we purchased this project, probably 3 or 4 years ago, I guess, Kerry. We've added to it since then. And it's about probably 200 kilometres to the south. It might be more, 300, yeah, 200 kilometres. Sorry, the Ashburton is 200 kilometres to the south of Mallina West.
Do you think the market has recognised that you've got Mallina West? Because I think the focus has always been a lot on Ashburton, hasn't it?
Yeah, no, I think that it's very underrated. One of the reasons is that it's been very hard to get on the ground here. There have been a number of permitting and heritage issues.
Right.
We believe they're resolved now. But as we said before, we've still got a number of targets that we still want to drill, which is taking a process, but we think it's very prospective because of what's happening at Hemi.
Well, also what you just said before, it's on the same shear zone. So when's drilling going to start there, Luke?
Oh, well, we drilled there about 6 weeks ago, Kerry.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yes, we've completed that drill program, 2,500 metres. As you can see, just the picture there. and assays are in, and we're waiting for those assays to come out. And
Oh,
we'll then
exciting.
design our next program after that.
Very exciting time.
Yeah, it really is, certainly in the Pilbara. So now what I'll do, I'll just flip over to Victoria if I can, Kerry. So this is the second component of our business that I'd like to talk to. I think it's well known that our Castlemaine and South Myrtle projects, which are in gold at the bottom of this diagram, they cover about 485 square kilometres. And between them, they've had historical production of about 8 million ounces of gold. And the reason why we're focused on central Victoria, I think as it's commonly known, it was one of the richest goldfields in the world. And just in this central area, or what is known as the Bendigo zone, more than 60 million ounces of gold came out of there in the 1850s to 1890s at a very impressive grade of 15 grams a tonne. But of course, it's only in recent days because of Fosterville that there's been a refocus on Victoria. And as we know, the Fosterville mine, which is just to the north of us, it's currently producing up to 49 grams a tonne, and it is considered to be the highest grade gold mine in the world. Costerfield, I think, is either the 7th or 8th highest grade gold mine. So we're certainly in the right area. So this year, we've completed regional soil sampling programs across Castlemaine, South Myrtle, and our Myrtle Gold project, which is just the south of Fosterville. And we're using the results of these geochem programs to prioritise upcoming drill campaigns. And in July this year, to the right-hand side, you can see what we call the Mount Piper Gold project. And we acquired that from a company called Coda Minerals. This is a very positive development for us, Kerry, and we made this acquisition on excellent terms. So our land holding in this central zone now has increased to more than 2,000 square kilometres. And, we are consolidating our position as, a prominent explorer in this incredibly rich gold province. There's only 5 or 6 major players here, and we're certainly one of them now, Kerry.
Mm.
So just talking a little bit about the Mount Piper Gold project. Our continued consolidation of exploration ground in central Victoria is a strategic decision by us. And of course, this is supported by the ongoing success of high-grade Fosterville and Costerfield to the north. In recent discussions we've had with Agnico, the Canadian company which now owns the Fosterville mine, we were very encouraged to hear of their long-term commitment to Victoria. We had discussions with them both in Canada and over at Diggers and Dealers. Agnico, it's a Canadian company, but it's the 3rd largest gold company in the world. And it is now focused on discovering additional large gold deposits in central Victoria, where we now strategically hold major tenure. The Mount Piper project area itself, very underexplored, considering its location just to the south of Fosterville and Costerfield. As well, there are a couple of promising gold prospects that have been discovered just in recent times, known as Sunday Creek and Reedy Creek, just to the south of Mount Piper. So we've started early work there, Kerry, with a focus on what we call the Goldie prospect, which we think is very prospective. So, Kerry, let me now just talk about lithium.
Yeah. I just love the slide, Luke. I think it's great. How many mines do we need? A lot.
Yeah, 74, I think the number is. Kerry, and this is the 3rd leg of our business. I'm sure you saw, as your viewers in recent times, saw a controversial report that was put out by Goldman Sachs a few months ago as to the lithium market. They took an opposing view to the entire market, and they considered that the lithium market was overblown. And this report had a major impact on the share price of lithium stocks around the world. However, much analysis, most forecasters have rejected Goldman Sachs' view of the world, and the market valuations of lithium stocks around the world are again on the increase. And just recently we've seen share prices, Pilbara Minerals, Core Lithium, Mineral Resources, they're all on the tear now. Because I think, as everyone appreciates, lithium demand and prices are continuing to increase due to the rapid uptake of electrical vehicles globally. In the US, President Biden, he's now targeting, whether it occurs or not, 50% of electrical vehicles in the US by 2030. And just today in the Fin Review, if you've read it, Kerry, one of the world's largest car fleet managers said that 1/3 of its cars it's financing now in the UK are now EVs.
1/3.
1/3 that it's financing.
That's huge.
Yeah. Here in Australia, obviously it's a slower uptake, but it is starting to spread here in Oz. Last month, Tesla Model 3 was the 4th highest selling model in Australia. Now, A lot of that's due because of deliveries that have just occurred, but it's a sign of the time. You know, we're not going to stop this rush to EVs. And of course, you know, what people are not talking about is the significant demand that's going to be needed for large-scale batteries for power generation and for baseload. You know, at the moment, all the focus is on the EVs. We're not even seeing the real development here. So I guess if you look at this, then, you know, we need to understand the scale of what's required in regard to lithium discoveries and development. And I think this slide sums it up best. You know, benchmark Mineral Intelligent forecast that with its projected 2035 demand for lithium, an additional 74 mines producing an average of 45,000 tonnes per annum of lithium carbonate equivalent are needed. So, you know, we're only just scratching the surface here at the moment in regard to lithium. So let me talk a little bit about our projects if I can. So this is the third leg or the third aspect of our business. I think as we've discussed before, we were fortunate enough last year to identify that on some of our Pilbara gold projects, that they're also prospective for lithium. Our Pilbara projects themselves sit within the prospective 4-kilometre wide granite greenstone contact zone. And this area is known as the Goldilocks zone, as highlighted by the magnetics on this diagram. And it's highly prospective for pegmatite or hosted lithium mineralisation. In particular, Doms Hill, which as you can see at the top here, it appears to be a geological analogue of Pilbara, owned by Pilbara Minerals, and the Wodgina lithium mines, which are located nearby to the west, as you can see on this map. And so even though we're just up the road, we're about 45 kilometres from two of the world's largest hard rock lithium mines, our projects up until now have never been explored or drilled for lithium. So our strategy has been to actively explore on this ground in joint venture with an experienced lithium company. And the reason being, Kerry, is, you know, we're a gold explorer and we felt that we needed to get lithium experience in-house. So late last year, we entered into a JV with the major lithium producer SQM across two of our Pilbara lithium projects, being Myrtle and also Doms Hill. And the deal we did with SQM was that it would sole fund an initial $12 million into an exploration and development JV across Doms Hill and Myrtle. SQM themselves, world's second largest lithium producer, producing almost 20% of the world's supply. And its only other major JV in Australia, not that ours is anywhere near the size, but it's with Wesfarmers on a large Mount Holland lithium mine and processing plant. As you'll appreciate, SQM's got a very substantial exploration and development skills, and our relationship, you know, it's been terrific. We're working very closely together, and we share a common goal of discovering and developing a world-class lithium deposit in Australia. So we've kicked off our exploration now, but importantly, we're managing all our SQM JV exploration activities. Which means, though, we're in very close contact with SQM's geologists and technical people. At Marble Bar, our fieldwork has delivered excellent results, Kerry. We've identified multiple pegmatite dikes containing visible lithium mineralisation. And this is further supported by the location of the nearby Mugella tin and tantalum field just to the north. As well, Global Lithium is just on the other side of that field, and its Archer deposit just to the north. So we've just completed just last month, Kerry, a 2,400 metre RC drill program on behalf of the JV at Marble Bar, and we're now awaiting assays.
Oh, that's exciting. We
then moved the drill rig to Doms Hill, where we have about 25 kilometres of strike extent of the Goldilocks zone that we talked about before. And our soil sampling there has also identified numerous drill targets. So we've now tested some of those targets with a drill program, and again, RC of about 1,600 metres. Again, waiting for results, waiting for assays over the next couple of months. I guess that with our relationship with SQM, they've actually encouraged us to look and to investigate new lithium projects, not just in the Pilbara, but also elsewhere in Australia. So in the last few months, we've expanded our lithium exploration to the East Coast. Oops, that's gone up. Sorry about that. Has gone across to the east coast of Australia. And that was the grant of what we call the Jingellic lithium project. It's about 2,000 square kilometres. This project is located in the southern Lachlan Fold Belt, just north of the Murray River just north of Albury, Kerry, in southern New South Wales.
Hmm.
The project geology here, highly prospective for lithium and tin mineralisation, and there's lots of tin and tantalum activities and historical mines in the area. And our early exploration activities have just started. I guess an advantage for us, obviously, we're based here in Victoria, and identifying tenure so close to our existing gold projects, is a real bonus here in Victoria. The Jingellic project is our first initiative in New South Wales, and we're actually thrilled to be able to take advantage of what we consider as a first mover approach in targeting lithium in this part of that state. Interestingly, soon after we took up this project, SQM announced it was also exploring for lithium just to the south of us. So that's been great validation for us. And I guess what this initiative illustrates to us is that Kalamazoo, we are committed to becoming an Australian-wide significant lithium and gold explorer, and maybe hopefully one day a developer.
Fantastic. All right.
Okay. Corporate overview, just quickly. I'll put this at the end of the slide rather than at the start. Again, we've got a tight share register, top 5 shareholders, 52% of the stock. I guess like all gold stocks, we're pretty heavily discounted at the moment. And that's probably as people try and figure out, what's going to happen to the world, with, of course, conflict in Europe, inflation, world economy, and of course, COVID. Got a market cap at the moment of about $32 million at today's share price, which obviously I believe is very undervalued. But we are still well funded. We've got more than $4 million cash in the bank. And of course, SQM is sole funding to the tune of $12 million, all of our Pilbara lithium exploration on those 2 projects. I put this slide up before, Kerry.
Yeah, running out of time, Luke, just to let you know.
Yeah, so I think we're undervalued just on a peer valuation, as you can see on this slide. People can have a look at that at a later time. So then, just to sum up, Kerry, I think we're well established to achieve further success across our 3 key projects over the next 12 months. At the Ashburton, we're looking to increase that to beyond 1.65 million ounces, and we're doing some great early development work on the revised resource model and scoping study. In Victoria, we continue to expand our land holding in the around world-class deposits in the zone. And the third leg of our business, our lithium, is growing in our JV with SQM. Great support from our key cornerstone shareholders, well funded, and I guess as an explorer, we'd love to be out there drilling and progressing development options across our projects. So that's a summary, Kerry. I'll leave it there. Any questions? Please just let.
Pop a question down in the bottom of the bar. I can take 2 maximum questions if you're quick, because we're running out of time. But while they're thinking about what those questions are, Luke, the scoping study at Ashburton, when's that due out?
I think the resource model will come out first. I'm hoping that'll be in the next 3 or 4 weeks, maybe even sooner. Scoping study will be soon after that. So we're getting close, Kerry. These things take time, but look, we're very pleased with the way it's been progressing.
SQM got very involved over there in Western Australia with the lithium project. You've talked about New South Wales. How involved are they with the New South Wales project?
They're not involved with it at this point of time. We want to do a bit more work on it. We want to understand it. We want to add value. But look, we're talking openly with SQM on a range of fronts. So we'll see how that progresses, Kerry.
How much work have you done in New South Wales to date?
Look, a couple of field visits. They've done a lot of desktop work as well. What we need to do is we need to actually build up our team here on the East Coast. We've had a lot of our people over in the West. So, Kerry, if you know of any geologists or fieldies who are looking for work, tell them to give me a call and we will gladly speak to them.
We'll put the out for you.
Just turn up and we'll have a chat with you.
Exactly. Finally, Mount Piper, are you going to be putting more attention onto that now that's part of the portfolio in Victoria? How does that sit in the portfolio?
Absolutely. Yeah, we'll be on the ground there very, very soon, Kerry, doing low impact work. We've identified a couple of prospects that we think are very prospective. We'll be there very soon.
Oh, look, Luke, I'm pretty excited. That was a really comprehensive presentation. Thanks so much for joining us at the NWR Aussie Resources Conference. Lots of news coming up for Kalamazoo Resources. ASX code is KZR, and Luke is out there making sure it all happens. Thanks for joining us today, Luke.
Thanks, Gary. Bye-bye.